There's a moment of silence in every human life, a moment when no one is watching, when the noise of the world fades and you come face to face with what you fear most. Sometimes that fear has a face. Other times it's just a shadow, hidden behind memories you've tried to bury. But whether you like it or not, it always returns. Carl Jung called it the shadow, not as something evil, but as the part of you that must be integrated for you to become whole. And here's the truth. As long as you keep running from what scares you, you'll remain trapped in the same invisible prison. But the day you stop running is the day you realize you've always held the keys. Welcome to our channel. Today, we invite you to seek the answers hidden behind the questions that haunt your silence. Why does it always feel just out of reach? Why don't I truly believe I can change? So pause, just for a second, and look back. How many times have you sabotaged yourself without even noticing? How many times have you stopped before even trying because that inner voice whispered you couldn't? That voice, the one that paralyzes you, that convinces you it's safer to stay where you are, is not your enemy. It is the guardian of your next level. It doesn't exist to destroy you, but to test you. Fear is the toll you pay to cross the bridge between the life you know and the legacy you're meant to build. It is the portal that separates those who surrender from those who rise. Success has never lived in comfort. Henry Ford was ridiculed before putting wheels on the dream that would change the world. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before lighting the first bulb. What did these men have in common? They understood something Jung also knew. The gold you seek is hidden in the place you least want to enter. That is where your mind tries to stop you from going. Let's get real. You've been postponing that difficult conversation for months. You know which one it is. The one that could change everything. A relationship, a job, a dream. Each day that passes, it grows in your mind. Jung would say, that conversation is your shadow asking for integration. But it is there that your transformation begins. Every great change demands confrontation. Confrontation with what hurts. Confrontation with what limits you. Confrontation with the image you carry of yourself. Most people never get to this point. They run. They escape into distractions, into addictions, into the mediocre life that shields them from pain. But here's the secret. The pain does not disappear. It stays. It accumulates. And one day, it overflows. That is why you must face it now, before it becomes bigger than you. Close your eyes and imagine. You standing before what you fear most. Maybe it's the fear of failure, of rejection, of never being enough. Feel your heart race, the sweat dripping down your hands. This is the moment where most retreat. But it is exactly at this moment that you must move forward. Because when you walk through fear, something extraordinary happens. The energy that once paralyzed you begins to propel you forward. You discover that fear was only the sign that something magnificent was about to be born. Do not confuse courage with the absence of fear. Courage is acting despite fear. It is looking into the abyss and saying, I will go. It is doing what needs to be done, even while trembling inside. Abraham Lincoln carried crushing doubts during the Civil War. Walt Disney went bankrupt before creating the empire that would inspire generations. None of them waited to feel ready. Oprah was fired for being inadequate for TV. J.K. Rowling was at rock bottom when she wrote Harry Potter. Elon Musk almost lost everything in 2008. Tesla and SpaceX on the brink of bankruptcy. What did they do? They walked toward fear, not away from it. They moved first, adjusted later. And that is what you must do. Do you want to change your life? Do you want to build something that honors who you truly are? Then stop waiting for the world's permission. Stop asking for perfect circumstances. They will never exist. What you have now, this mind, this body, this pain, is enough to begin. What you lack is not resources. It is decision. And decision is a flame only you can ignite. There is a silent law in the universe. Everything you avoid grows. Everything you face dissolves. That is why running from fear makes it bigger, and facing it makes it smaller. Jung said, we do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Translated to today, Your greatness is not born from what you pretend to be, but from what you have the courage to face. And when you face it, what once bound you turns into fuel. The human mind is a battlefield. In it, you fight against old beliefs, painful memories, and inherited patterns that tell you you can't. But there is another voice inside, a voice you may have forgotten. It is the voice that whispers when everything falls apart. Keep going. It is the same voice that makes you rise when defeat seems certain. It is the voice of your soul, and it is tired of waiting. Look at your life right now. Everything you have, good or bad, is a reflection of what you have believed about yourself. If you believe you don't deserve abundance, you will sabotage yourself every time it appears. If you believe you are unworthy of love, you will push away those who try to love you. But if you dare to believe you were born for something greater, you will behave as someone who already carries greatness. You will wake up earlier. You will endure more pain. You will walk farther. You will create the impossible. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Discipline starts small, 5 push-ups every day, 1-page read, 10 minutes of something you avoid. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. Fear loses strength when you act, even if it's microscopic. It is silent, harsh, often lonely, but it is the purest proof of faith you can give to your own destiny. While most wait for motivation, the few who change the world move by conviction. They don't wait to feel like it, they act. Because they understand that the act of doing creates the feeling. Movement generates belief. Action precedes transformation. Be brutally honest with yourself now. What have you been avoiding? Which conversation do you need to have? Which decision do you need to make? Which habit do you need to abandon? That answer, the one that just surfaced in your mind, is the starting point. That is where you must enter, because that is where your freedom lies. Breathe deeply. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a mountain. Down below, the valley represents everything you already know: routine, comfort, familiar fears. Ahead of you, the unknown rises like a wall. The climb is steep, the wind is biting, and every step demands more from you than ever before. This is where most give up, because the body aches, the mind screams, and the heart questions. But this is where the few who decide to continue discover something. The summit is not just a place, it is who you become upon reaching it. It is at this point that fear ceases to be the enemy and becomes the guide. Because what you fear is, in fact, a sign of what matters. Fear points you the way. It shouts where the hidden treasures are. When you feel the butterflies in your stomach, it's because you are getting close to what can set you free. Jung understood this. The unconscious does not send random signals. It speaks through symptoms, dreams, sensations you try to silence. What you reject in yourself is precisely what needs to be integrated to become whole. Think of all the giants who shaped the world. They were not free from fear. They simply learned to dance with it. Gandhi trembled before the responsibility he carried. Churchill had anxiety attacks amid the war. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company before creating the product that would change everything. The difference? They did not let fear decide their steps. They used fear as a compass, not as a prison. The mind will always try to convince you it's not the right time. It will say you need to wait a little longer, that you need more preparation, more money, more support. But the perfect time will never come. The moment is now, because now is the only moment that exists. And when you decide to act now, something extraordinary happens. The universe responds. People show up. Opportunities arise. Paths open where before there were walls. But here is the truth. Almost no one has the courage to face. You will have to lose who you are to become who you can be. You will have to abandon old habits, old excuses, old labels. It will hurt, because pain is the price of metamorphosis. The caterpillar does not fly while insisting on crawling. The fire burns before purifying. But on the other side, there is a version of you you do not even know yet. Stronger, more focused, more alive. When you stop running, life ceases to be about survival and becomes about creation. You stop reacting and start choosing. You stop hiding and start building. With every challenge faced, you become more resilient. With every obstacle overcome, you carry a scar that does not weaken you. It proves you. This is how leaders, creators, visionaries are born, not by the absence of falls, but by the decision to get up one more time. And as you walk, something changes silently inside you. That incessant noise of doubt begins to fade. That weight on your chest begins to lighten. You realize you no longer need to fight against yourself. Now you fight alongside yourself. You integrate what you once rejected, and in this moment, you cease to be a hostage of fear and become its master. Pause and ask yourself, what would happen to your life if you decided from today never to run away again? What would happen to your dreams, your career, your relationships? How many doors would open if you had the courage to say yes to what scares you? Because that is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The ordinary wait for fear to disappear. The extraordinary walk with it. You don't need more certainties. You need more courage. And courage is built, one step at a time. Today it's facing that difficult conversation. Tomorrow it's taking the first step on that project you've been delaying. The day after tomorrow it's continuing even when no one believes. Every act of courage accumulates until one day you realize you have become unshakable. And being unshakable doesn't mean never falling. It means falling and continuing. It means knowing that nothing external can define you, neither criticism, nor failures, nor losses. It means living with the silent conviction that no matter what happens, you will not be broken, because what is true in you cannot be destroyed. From today on, make a pact with yourself. No more running, no running from pain, no running from hard work, no running from discipline, no running from the call that burns deep in your chest, because the life you dream of is not on the safe side of the road, it's on the other side of risk, and risk is the price of freedom. So when fear comes, and it will, and smile, look at it and say, thank you for showing me the way, and walk, one step at a time, because destiny does not belong to those who run away. It belongs to those who walk toward what scares them most, and discover in the process that what they feared most was actually what they needed most. If these words touch something inside you, write in the comments, I choose to face what scares me. I want to see who will have the courage to declare this publicly today. Be bold. Life awaits you on the unshakable side. Just come. The wind blows fiercely atop the mountain. It cuts your face but also awakens something within you. Each gust seems to say, if you can endure this, you can endure anything. The cold is not the enemy, it is the teacher. Discomfort is not punishment, it is proof. All strength is born from a moment of pain, and every purpose is born from a dark night of the soul. Carl Jung knew this. A human only becomes whole when they traverse their own underworld and return with fire in their hands. It is there that you discover who you truly are. Remember every early morning when you thought about giving up. Remember every closed door, every rejection, every failure that seemed final. Now realize you survived them all. Those pains that seemed unbearable became scars. And scars are not signs of weakness, they are war medals. They prove you faced storms and are still standing. And if you endured that, you can endure what lies ahead. What paralyzes humans most is not fear of failure. It is fear of what they will become when they win. Because winning requires leaving behind the old identity, the old narrative, the old comfort zone. Are you ready to lose who you think you are? Because that is the only way who you truly are is born. The butterfly does not negotiate with the caterpillar. It breaks the shell, even without knowing how to fly. The world will try to distract you. It will offer shortcuts, seduce you with the easy path, whisper that you can settle for less. But the easy path demands the highest price, a lifetime of wondering what if? What if I had tried? What if I had believed? What if I had faced that fear? Can you live with that doubt? Or do you prefer to pay the price of discomfort now to reap power later? The discipline you resist today is the freedom you crave tomorrow. Getting up when no one is watching, studying when no one applauds, training when no one believes. This is the secret that turns ordinary men into legends. Andrew Carnegie started as a poor boy working in factories. Walt Disney was rejected dozens of times. Nikola Tesla died unrecognized, but left a legacy that powers the modern world. None of them surrendered to fear. None fled their own vision. Fear will test you in silence. It will whisper at dawn, "Go back to bed, it's safer here." It will disguise itself as logic. Wait a little longer. You're not ready. It will use the voices of those close to you. Don't dream so big, but listen well. Fear lies. It exaggerates risks and minimizes rewards. It paints monsters bigger than they are, and the only way to silence fear is not by arguing with it, but by moving forward anyway. Life rewards the bold, not because they are special, but because they dared where others retreated. Every step you take toward what scares you is a vote of confidence in your future. Every day you refuse to give up is a message to the universe. I am worthy of this. And the universe responds. It does not give its greatest treasures to doubters. It gives them to those who persist. Don't expect applause. Silence will be your companion for most of the journey. People won't understand why you work so hard, why you sacrifice so much, why you keep trying when it seems impossible. But the world does not need to understand. The world needs to see. And when you show, when the transformation is visible, when the result is undeniable, the same world that doubted will wonder how you did it. And you will smile. Not because you need to prove something to them, but because you finally proved it to yourself. The greatest victory is not wealth, fame, or recognition. The greatest victory is looking in the mirror and seeing someone you respect. It is knowing that no matter what happens, you did not betray your calling. It is living with the certainty that you did what needed to be done, even when no one believed you could. So choose today. Choose the right fear. Not the fear that paralyzes you, but the fear of living beneath what you know you are capable of. That is the only fear that should guide you, the fear of settling for less than you were born to be. Because life is short, time is relentless, and the opportunity to become unshakable does not wait forever. Now breathe. Feel your heart beat. Listen to the silence. This is your moment. No one will fight this battle for you. No one can cross this bridge in your place. It's you against fear. It's you against doubt. It's you against the old version of yourself. And when you win, and you will win, the world will never be the same again. Imagine a night without stars. Absolute silence, the heavy air of expectation. It is in this emptiness that your mind tries to deceive you, whispering that you don't have what it takes. This is where many give up. But listen closely. The silence before the storm is always the harbinger of something great. Before the sun rises, the darkness seems thicker. Before triumph, the pain is sharper. And it is precisely at this point that you must continue. Because it is here at the edge of endurance that metamorphosis happens. Carl Jung said there is no awakening without pain. And perhaps you have already felt this. Those moments when life pushed you to the bottom of the pit, and yet something inside you refused to die. That force, silent, stubborn, is proof that there is something within you that no fall can destroy. Call it soul, call it spirit, call it purpose. It is the part of you born to withstand the storm and transform it into power. Look to history. All great visionaries were tested to their limits. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years in a tiny cell before freeing a nation. Viktor Frankl survived the horrors of concentration camps and emerged with a vision that changed millions of lives. These people understood something few realize. You don't choose the tests, but you choose what to do with them. And if you choose to use them, the impossible bends before your persistence. Fear will try to convince you that you have no choice. It will say your destiny is already written, that what has been done cannot be changed. But here is the truth. Destiny is a draft. The pencil is still in your hand, and every decision you make, every act of courage, every day you choose to persist, is a new line written in the book of your life. The blank page is waiting. The pain you feel now is the training for the greatness you will carry later. The weight that seems unbearable today will be the same weight that gives you strength to lift others. The scars you carry will become maps for those who come after you. The struggle that seems only yours today will turn into inspiration for someone who doesn't even know you exist yet. This is the power of the silent example. You never know who is watching your courage. And one day, perhaps when you least expect it, You will realize that the fear that once paralyzed you no longer has power over you. What was once a mountain is now just a milestone on the road. You no longer define yourself by the fears you have conquered, but by the path you built despite them. And on that day, you will understand what it means to be unshakable. But being unshakable is not about never feeling pain or doubt. It is about feeling and yet standing firm. It is about knowing storms will come, but they will not destroy you. It is about trusting that the fire will purify and not consume. It is about choosing courage every day, even when it seems distant. Right now, take pen and paper. Write, what I most avoid doing is... That answer is your treasure map. That's where your transformation awaits. It is about building within yourself a center so strong that nothing external can shake it. Now, close your eyes and imagine. You at the top of the mountain. The wind still blows, but now it does not knock you down. It holds you up. The cold still exists, but now it strengthens you. The horizon opens before you, vast, infinite. And for the first time you understand, fear was never the enemy. The enemy was the escape. And today, you stopped running. Breathe deeply. Feel your heart beat like a drum. This is the sound of your victory. Not because the world changed, but because you changed. Not because fear disappeared, but because you became greater than it. And from now on, nothing will be able to stop you. You were born for this, to challenge limits, to break patterns, to write a story only you can write. And that story begins now. Not tomorrow, not when everything is perfect, but now in the midst of chaos, in the midst of fear, in the midst of uncertainty. This is where the strong are forged. This is where the unshakable are born. So go. Don't look back. What you seek is not in the past. What you need is before you, hidden behind the fear you finally decided to face. Walk toward it. And when you get there, when you face it head-on, you will discover the secret the great ones always knew. Fear was just the door, and you always had the key. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss weekly content. Here you will find the fuel you need to stay firm and unshakable on your journey. Leave your like because you are already becoming unshakable, and share it with friends who need this dose of courage. The sound of your footsteps echoes, first hesitant, then firm. The ground shakes, not because the world changed, but because you changed. What was once a battlefield is now your altar. The fear that screamed is now silent. The doubt that gnawed is now bowed. And for the first time you understand, victory was never about the world. It was always about you. It was always about who you would need to become to deserve what you dream. There is no turning back. The bridge behind you has burned. The old version of yourself no longer exists. All that remains is the now. And the now demands courage. It demands that you rise even with scars. It demands that you look into the abyss and say, I am ready. Because this is what the unshakable do. They don't ask the storm to stop. They learn to dance in the rain. Feel your heart beating like a war drum. Each beat says advance. Each breath says continue. Each step says this is the way. You are no longer a hostage to what scares you. You have become its master. You have turned it into fuel. Now, all that remains is to act. No excuses. No waiting for the perfect moment. No asking for permission. Rise up. This is the call. The world doesn't need more safe people. It needs courageous people. People willing to lose themselves to find themselves. Willing to walk through the shadow to carry the light. Willing to stop running and finally become unshakable. And when fear comes, because it always will, smile. Because now you know, it is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the sign that you are exactly where you should be. Now go, face it, win. Become the living proof that nothing external can shake those who master their own interior. Become the echo of courage that resonates silently for generations. Become unshakable.